Hello children, today I'm back with you to share our story, A Squash and a Squeeze, again. So today we're going to read and enjoy the story again, and we're going to do a little bit of thinking about how the characters feel as we go through the story. Okay, let's see. Okay, can you remember our little old lady here, look. A little old lady lived all by herself, with a table and chairs and a jug on the shelf. Wonder how that little old lady's feeling as she lives all by herself. Wonder if she feels a little bit alone. A wise old man heard her grumble and grouse. "There's not enough room in my house. Wise old man, won't you help me, please? My house is a squash and a squeeze." So I think she might be a little bit lonely, and she doesn't enjoy living in her small house if she doesn't have enough room. "Take in your hen," said the wise old man. "Take in my hen? What a curious plan." Wow, children, I think the idea is a little bit curious. It is a little bit unusual, isn't it? Because hens don't belong inside houses, do they, children? Well, the old lady did as she was told, but the hen laid an egg on the fireside rug and flapped round the room, knocking over the jug. Oh dear, I wonder if the little old lady was a little bit cross or upset when the hen knocked the jug off the shelf. I hope it didn't smash. The little old lady cried, "What shall I do? It was pokey for one and it's tiny for two. My nose has a tickle and there's no room to sneeze. My house is a squash and a squeeze." And she said, "Wise old man, won't you help me, please? My house is a squash and a squeeze." "Take in your goat," said the wise old man. "Take in my goat? What a curious plan." That's a little bit curious, isn't it? Because, of course, goats don't belong in houses, do they? Well, the goat chewed the curtains and trod on the egg, then sat down to nibble the table leg. Oh dear, children, I wonder how she's feeling about that. The goat is in her house, nibbling her curtains, upsetting the plant pots, and nibbling her furniture. I think the old lady's thinking that this plan is getting curiouser and curiouser. The little old lady cried, "Glory be! It was tiny for two, and it's titchy for three. The hen pecks the goat, and the goat's got fleas. My house is a squash and a squeeze." And she said, join in children if you want to, "Wise old man, won't you help me, please? My house is a squash and a squeeze." I think the old man is listening because he's just outside the window here. "Take in your pig," said the wise old man. "Take in my pig? What a curious plan." So it's very interesting, children, isn't it? Because the old lady thinks it's a very strange idea to bring the pig into the house, but she's going to do it anyway because she's listening to this wise old man with his many years of experience and his very thoughtful choices. So she took in her pig, who kept chasing the hen. Oh dear, I don't think the hen looks very happy being chased by the pig. And raiding the larder again and again. I don't think it's possible to fill this pig up, children. He keeps on eating out of the larder. The little old lady cried, "Stop! I implore! It was titchy for three and it's teeny for four. even the pig in the larder agrees, my house is a squash and a squeeze. So the old lady thinks that the animals agree with her, that this is a very strange place for them to be, and it's not big enough. And she said, wise old man, won't you help me, please? My house is a squash and a squeeze. Taking your cow, said the wise old man. Taking my cow? What a curious plan. Well, the cow took one look and charged straight at the pig, then jumped on the table and tapped out a jig. The little old lady cried, heavens alive, it was teeny for 4 and it's weeny for 5. I'm tearing my hair out, I'm down on my knees. My house is a squash and a squeeze. So children, I think she's getting more and more desperate. She's getting more and more fed up. She said she's tearing her hair out. She doesn't know what to do. Everything's going wrong. Her house is really full and it's being spoilt with all of these animals that are knocking down jugs and knocking over plant pots, chasing each other, bringing their fleas in. And she said, wise old man, won't you help me, please? My house is a squash and a squeeze. Take them all out, said the wise old man. But then I'll be back where I first began. I think the old lady is wondering why the wise old man wants her to take them all out, and she'll be back to the beginning like this, on her own, won't she? But again, she's a bit puzzled. I think she's looking puzzled in this picture, but she does what the old man says, what he suggests. So she opened the window and out flew the hen. That's better. At last I can sneeze again. She shooed out the goat and she shoved out the pig. My house is beginning to feel pretty big. So I think that the old lady's feeling ever so slightly better after she's shooed out the goat and she has shoved out the pig. She huffed and she puffed and she pushed out the cow. Just look at my house, it's enormous now. Oh, I like that word, enormous. Thank you, old man, for the work you have done. It was weeny for 5. It's gigantic for 1. There's no need to grumble and there's no need to grouse. There's plenty of room in my house. So I think that this old man has played a very clever trick on the old lady. The old lady thought at the beginning of the story that her house was tiny. It felt tiny. But with all of the animals in her house, it felt even smaller. It felt so tiny, there was no room to move. But now that all the animals have left the house, it feels huge. So the old lady feels like she's living in a really spacious house. And I can tell from this illustration, the picture of the old lady here shows me that she's feeling really happy, as well as that big smile on her face. And now she's full of frolics and fiddle-de-dees. It isn't a squash and it isn't a squeeze. So I think, children, she's feeling really happy that she's got all of this space to dance in. She can whirl, she can twirl, she can do a jig, she can tap out a rhythm. She's got all of this space and everything is tidy and back to normal. Yes, she's full of frolics and fiddle-de-dees. It isn't a squash or a squeeze. And I think the animals realise that the old lady's feeling very happy now. They can see her dancing, look. They can see her frolicking in the kitchen. And I think the wise old man's work is done because he looks as though he's leaving now. So what a happy ending for all of our characters. The wise old man has done a great job The little old lady feels happy, although actually, has anything changed? And the animals are back outside where they belong. I hope, children, you've enjoyed the story again today and that you've done some really good thinking about our story, and especially about how the characters in our story have been feeling. Okay, so I'm going to see you tomorrow and we'll have the story again. Okay, I'm looking forward to it already. Bye, children.